Zeppelin's largest airship, the Hindenburg, crashed in 1937. It's a world-famous event. Passenger aviation travel ended after the 36-person catastrophe. Before we continue to our video, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates and videos. 8 p.m. May 3, 1937. Frankfurt launches a Hindenburg. This plane flew to New Jersey, America, across the Atlantic. It carried 36 passengers and 61 crew members. Here, aircraft doesn't mean an airplane. Aircraft means airship. Airship Hindenburg. World's largest airship, 245 meters long. Compare it to today's Boeing 747 to see how enormous it was. Hidenburg was only 24 meters shorter than Titanic. This made Hidenburg the queen of the skies and Nazi Germany's pride. The Hindenburg's interior was breathtaking. Today, flying may not offer such amenities. People had separate bedrooms, a dining room where everyone could eat, and a lounge with a grand piano. There was a reading and writing room with a $700 entry charge, which is now over $7,000. Only the wealthy could travel in this. After 3 days, Hidenburg reached America on May 6, 1937. Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey must receive it, slowly dropping. 7 p.m. Ground dwellers grabbed onto its ropes during landed differently. As a historic ship, many people watched it land. There were also cameramen. This Hidenburg landing was filmed. Poor weather. It was cloudy and windy. To match the winds, the captain turned sharply. The ground crew secured the ropes quickly. A big bang sounded as the plane landed. The airship burned instantly. The plane crashed in 34 seconds and burned completely. The actual crash of the Hindenburg, utterly destroyed in less than half a minute, seared in the skeleton of what was once a mighty airship. The Hindenburg disaster shook the world. What caused this disaster? Experts investigate, presenting three main theories. First, this airship was sabotaged. It was part of a hazardous Nazi Germany pride-destroying strategy. Some claim the Hidenburg airship was booby-trapped by an anti-Nazi protester or another nation. Thus the explosion. Some suspected Hitler blew up the Hindenburg airship. Hitler's people bombed it to destroy their airship. Why would they? Hugo Eckener owned the airship firm. He was one of a handful who openly opposed Hitler and the Nazis. It was hard to publicly oppose Hitler then. In 1933, Hitler wanted to arrest Hugo Eckener. However, Paul von Hindenburg prevented his arrest. The German president was Hidenburg. Its name is obvious. Hitler's propaganda minister Goebbels asked Eckener to name the world's largest airship after him 3 years later in 1936. Hugo Eckener refused. He named this airship Hindenburg. Some think Hitler bombed this airship out of jealousy and to tarnish Eckener's reputation. Hitler's regime intended to utilize the Hindenburg airship's first flight to advance Nazi propaganda. Many images of this airship show Nazi Party flags on its tail. Hugo Eckener was a safety stickler. However, the Nazi Party put anyone in charge of these airships. Their disciples were unqualified. They often disregarded safety. The Hindenburg airship almost crashed on its inaugural voyage. The airship was extensively damaged. The Nazi propaganda ministry and Eckener fought after the incident. The second theory implicates airship-generated static electricity. You probably studied static electricity. Hindenburg's metal structure had static charge. Airship hydrogen ignited when it sparked. The pilot turned sharply, causing the explosion. Lightning is the third theory. As mentioned, the weather was horrible that day. Lightning may have ignited hydrogen. Which theory matches best? Airship history must be understood first. Airplanes made flying ubiquitous. 500 years ago, flying was a dream. Birds flying in the 1500s made humans jealous. People wanted to fly. Many attempted it. John Damien leaped from a Scottish castle top in 1507 with chicken feathers on his hands. He waved like a bird to fly. Unfortunately, he fell. He broke bones. Later, he said he would have flown with eagle feathers. Several did. Many have attempted to jump from towers or high walls. They wore feathers, kites, and balloons. People learned there are two ways to fly. We must first get airborne. Through a balloon. Second, we need enough power to fly. The second technique doesn't require being lighter than air. All modern airplanes and helicopters use this second strategy. They can fly. Friends, airships are first method. Lightweight flying. In the 1770s, French brothers Joseph Michel and Jacques Etienne Montgolfier. These inventive brothers were smart. They noticed someone fire drying garments. Joseph notices that fire heat forced the clothing to fly up. He thought about doing it bigger. He covered a narrow wood box with a light cloth. He lit a crumpled paper in the box. The flame sent the box flying. He and his brother immediately began creating a larger box model. Full-size model test flights began on December 14, 1782. Wool and hay burned. Their box flew 2 kilometers after losing control due to the lifting force. In 1783, they held a public demonstration in Versailles in front of King Louis. They put a duck and a hen in the box to show that animals could fly safely. The king liked this. They were allowed to test it with humans inside the enclosure. The hot air balloon was invented this way. First balloonist was Jacques Aitchen. In the 1850s, a German kid named Ferdinand Adolf Heinrich August Graf von Zeppelin resided in a little town. The name was long and weighty. This boy visited America during the Civil War and saw the Union Army employing balloons. As he rose in the service, this lad wrote about airships in his diary. Balloons were advanced by then. Balloons were getting engines to steer them. Electric and steam engines powered balloons. Zeppelin quit the army at 52 to build airships in 1891. Balloons have one gas bag. If we use numerous gas bags and make the construction more stiff, we could build a large, durable aircraft. Zeppelin refined his idea with engineers. Aluminum was framed. He built the first airship with investment in 1898. Named LZ-1. This is why we call airships Zeppelins, pals, since Zeppelin invented them. The plot then faces several obstacles. Zeppelins use hydrogen. America used helium. The gases are incomparable. Hydrogen is flammable. Helium is inert. It's fireproof. Same idea. Gases are lighter than air. They propel the airship. LZ-1 flew on July 2, 1900. It flew 20 minutes but crashed. Zeppelin mortgaged his wife's assets to raise funding to rebuild it. He finished LZ-2 in 1905. It never flew because a control part broke. Repairs took another year. He retested it in 1906 and found another big problem. Winds took control of the airship. He built LZ-3 using the leftovers. He wanted to show the military he could build an airplane. The military required 24-hour durability. Durability testing is required. Airship failure. He scored LZ-4. A severe storm damaged the LZ-4 one night. High winds unmoored the Zeppelin. His true anecdote illustrates this quote. Try again. Never quitters succeed. In 1903, the Wright brothers flew their first airplane. Their story is historic. Zeppelin got publicity after numerous attempts. People saw his efforts to create airships. More investments and a firm followed. LZ-3 was improved and tested in 1908. These test flights succeeded despite adverse weather. Government approved LZ-3. Zeppelin was revered. Zeppelin improved during the next few years but died in 1917. The Treaty of Versailles of 1918 prohibited Germany from maintaining combat aircraft. Airships were previously utilized only for military purposes. Dr. Hugo Eckener appears. He ran the corporation after Zeppelin died. He was the first to discover that Zeppelins could fly commercially as well as militarily. LZ-126 flew in 1924. Hugo Eckener flew it himself. 80 hours covered over 8,000 kilometers. Americans applauded this airship's arrival. Peace Angel. Public use of a fighting machine. Eckener's 1928 LZ-127 model followed, but they were doomed. Eckener openly condemned Hitler after the Nazi Party took power in 1933. After decades of inquiry, the Hidenburg accident was not caused by Hitler or the Nazi Party. Hydrogen leakage and static electricity explosion are the most likely causes of this disaster. This accident tarnished all airships. Hydrogen burns easily. Airships are dangerous. Despite using helium gas. However, America's helium gas supply was limited. America banned helium exports. Airships were losing favor in the 1940s. They scared travelers. Airplanes improved. Passenger airplane speed, reliability, and affordability improved dramatically. Airships were slower than airplanes. 100 kilometers per hour airplanes flew at 700, 800, or 1,000 kilometers/a. Helium gas was scarce and airships were susceptible in harsh weather. This is why our age never saw or rode airships. Unfortunately, traveling in them was different. What a view from a low-altitude, slow flight with wide windows. These airships can return in the future. Hybrid Air Vehicles, a UK business, tested Airlander 10, the world's largest airship, in 2017. Helium gas is easier to get now, making it safer. Climate change raises carbon emission concerns. Airships emit 10% less carbon than airplanes. Fuel costs decrease. They fly quietly. This business anticipates airship commercial flights beyond 2030. So this was all about this video. Let us know in the comments section about your opinions on this. Also subscribe to us right now if you haven't yet.